Ayurveda is the oldest practice of medicine known to humankind. Much of its history was lost, but it is at least 2,500 years old and quite possibly 5,000. It arose out of India and currently is still practiced in India as well as in other Southeast Asian countries. It originates between 2500 and 500 BCE. Much of natural medicine that is practiced nowadays is inspired or founded on Ayurvedic principles, perspectives, and ideas. Ayus is Sanskrit for life, and Veda for knowledge or science. So Ayurveda literally means the science of life or the knowledge of well-being. This is the aim, to approach health from all angles, to understand our individual bodies and keep them balanced, and to use lifestyle as the key tool for healing. Ayurvedic thought may seem to have very different ideas and concepts of the universe, matter, and our bodies, but it is full of practicality and common sense, and is extremely relevant to modern medicine. Once learning about Ayurveda, one can easily apply it to all aspects of life, and find a much closer relation with modern thought than they may have imagined. According to Ayurvedic theory, the universe is composed of 5 elements. These include space or ether, air, fire, water, and earth. All matter in the universe is composed of these 5 elements, in different quantities. They exist everywhere in nature, so this would naturally include the human body. Of these 5 elements, 3 doshas are categorized. Doshas are more easily understood as physical energies or properties. Vata is composed of air and space, Pitta of fire and water, and Kapha of water and earth. These physical energies govern all physical properties that exist, and all physical processes. We all have these doshas in our bodies, but in different proportions, which makes us all different. Therefore, our needs to maintain well-being are specific to each person. Each dosha is associated with many particular body functions, and all aid each other. Each person is born with a primary dosha, your prakriti. A person's primary dosha is best defined as their physical constitution. This is completely unique to each individual. We all have a different makeup of each element, and therefore appropriate diet and lifestyle vary depending on the person. Finding your own dosha or doshas is complex and involves analyzing many aspects of yourself, from your physique to your personality and even your feces. Even then, you may find that you connect with many aspects of Pitta, but be primarily Vata with a Pitta imbalance. Many people are dual dosha, which means they identify equally with 2 doshas. Yet a Vata Pitta is different than a Pitta Vata. The first listed is your primary constitution. Some lucky people are tridoshic, which means that each dosha exists equally and is most likely in balance. When a dosha is aggravated in your body, many negative effects can be the result if not corrected. In fact, according to Ayurvedic theory, all of disease and illness is a result of an imbalanced dosha that wasn't dealt with soon enough. Kapha is responsible for all things structural. Composed of water and earth, it is the building block for our bodies. Kapha creates form, holds together all of our tissues, and provides the essential lubrication for all bodily processes. It exists in our bodies primarily in the chest, throat, lungs, fat, ligaments, bones, muscles, tendons, skin, and the lymph nodes. If your Kapha is imbalanced, problems may likely occur in these places. Kapha is the force that keeps us grounded and stable, counteracting the other 2 doshas and keeping them in check. It allows growth, stores energy, and ensures proper lymph function. People who are primarily Kapha in nature tend to be thick or more heavily set. Kaphas also have the most endurance of all the doshas and can gain or lose weight extremely easily if they lessen the amount of excess Kapha in their bodies. Being a couch potato and not exercising on a regular basis is the easiest way to increase Kapha and cause an imbalance. Kaphas also have a very strong sexual appetite, and sex is an excellent way to decrease Kapha. Kaphas, with their watery quality, also tend to dislike any humid environment, and Ayurveda recommends that they avoid these types of environments, that they stay dry and active to keep the compassionate, patient, and loving Kapha stable. The negative psychological aspects when Kapha is in abundance often include greed, attachment, depression, introversion, and passiveness. Since Ayurveda is far more than just a simple medical practice, and it is much more about lifestyle as a constant part of treatment and health, diet is an extremely important aspect of its approach. Different foods and herbs are digested differently and have different effects on our bodies. Food then also affects different people with different constitutions in different ways. Kaphas, again being heavily composed of water and earth, ought to avoid foods with these qualities. Kaphas make excellent vegetarians because airy, dry foods are very energizing to Kapha. Legumes, many grains, and raw vegetables offer this. It isn't really any different from modern diets that a nutritionist would suggest for someone wanting to drop a few pounds. Adversely, lubricated, oily, or heavy foods increase Kapha and can cause sluggishness, such as wheat, dairy, sweet fruits, cooked vegetables, and certain meats. Alcohol is also not beneficial in reducing Kapha. When one's Kapha is out of balance, they may be lethargic, lazy, congested, or overweight. Typical Kapha disorders of the body include diabetes, sinus problems, colds and flus, allergies, asthma, acne, bloating, obesity, lymphatic disorders, and heart disease. Laziness and congestion tend to be early detectors of a Kapha imbalance. Regular fasting is also recommended most to Kapha, as it eliminates excess ama and water from the body. Ama is Sanskrit for waste, and it builds up in all of our bodies. It can lead to fatigue, obesity, and depression, which are all common with Kaphas, as well as poor nutrient absorption. Fasting reduces excess water and ama, and is extremely cleansing to the body. It is recommended for all doshas, but different fasts and how often one fasts depends on their dosha. Kaphas benefit most from regular fasts. In our bodies, Pitta is the governing force of our digestion. In particular, it controls nutrient absorption and Agni. Agni is Sanskrit for digestive fire. Agni is like a pilot light on a stove. It needs to be kept lit, but shouldn't burn too much. Certain foods increase Agni, and certain ones cause it to decrease. Kaphas tend to have low Agni, but people who are primarily Pitta have an intense digestive fire and a considerable appetite. The primary locations of Pitta in the human body are in the blood, the eyes, sweat, and the majority of the digestive tract. Problems that can occur due to a Pitta imbalance include heartburn, diarrhea, ulcers, stomach, small intestine or liver disorders, rashes, and eye disorders. Pitta is water and mostly fire, so Pittas need to keep cool and dry, both in their environment and in their temperament. Hot and humid environments should be avoided, as Pitta gets aggravated by these qualities, and irritability is the result. The typical Pitta person is of medium build, has a high level of perspiration, and feels warm or hot easily. At their best, Pittas tend to have energy, courage, confidence, intelligence, and they are natural leaders. Yet when Pitta is imbalanced or irritated, fierce temper, aggressiveness, and arrogance take over. Alcohol consumption can bring these traits out in Pittas. This is why Pitta must be kept under control. The recommended Pitta diet is similar to that of Kapha, with one major exception. Pitta is aggravated by spicy food, whereas Kapha is balanced. Pittas, just like Kaphas, make excellent vegetarians. They both need dry, light, and raw foods to reduce their excess elements. Legumes and salads are calming to Pitta. These foods are more difficult to digest and use more energy in the process, but people full of Pitta have plenty of Agni to spare. Foods that are acidic, hot, or oily should generally be avoided. Consuming anything spicy or acidic increases Agni, which is generally good for Kapha types, but not for Pitta. Pittas have excellent digestion and strong, healthy Agni, but consuming Pitta-aggravating foods can cause an overabundance of this digestive fire. On the flip side, as is the case with a Kapha imbalance, eating too many heavy, well-lubricated, or cold foods can overly pacify Agni. Agni can be easily stimulated by ginger, cumin, cayenne,